You're a young man about to graduate high school. Now what? One camp believes that everyone needs a college education, even if you don't know what you want to do with your life. Another claims that college is a scam and trade schools are the way to go. Most high schools have one counselor for every 300 students and are absolutely overwhelmed. And your parents may mean well, but they grew up in a totally different world and may not be able to help. So, what's a young man to do? Joining me once again on this episode is DJ from What's Good Family Podcast. So, absolutely give him a like and follow if you like what we're doing. Now, let's get started.
Hi, I'm Kara, and you're listening to Touch Grass and Wash Your Ass.
Is college still worth it in 2026? I
Mm.
see two extremes, and I kind of want to talk about both of them, but I kind of want to know your point of view.
My point of view is, let me word this correctly. College is not for everybody. Let me start out by saying that. For anybody watching, college is not for everybody. There are other things you can do. There are vocational schools, there's trade schools. There are things you can do other than going to college. I'm not saying don't go to college, but I'm saying it's not for everybody. It's just that hands down, that's just the truth of the matter. Now, does society require you to have a college degree to get a good job? Yes, but they keep raising the standards. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by raising the standard is like person who just graduated with their bachelor's in psychology and they have their bachelor's still cannot go out and start their own job or start their own practice or anything else like that without obtaining a master's. So it's like I got to pay all this extra money to start making money. Then you then ask the question, and then on top of paying all the extra money, I got to intern for up under somebody for so many hours before I can actually branch out on my own. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to get an education for stuff that at one point in time was free.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. College is not for everybody. I mean, different people have different talents, different abilities, and, everything doesn't require a college degree. In fact, most things just require experience, and some things require talent
Mhm.
that you're not going to get out of a book, no matter how hard you try. I mean, if you don't have an eye for fashion, you're probably not going to get one going to school for 4 years. You're probably still going to suck, and you're probably still not going to get employed. But what I see online a lot is that there's one side that says everybody needs to go to college and, getting a degree, no matter what it's in, is important. And then there's another side that's like college is a scam. We need these trades and internships or whatnot, and you can do it that way. And I feel like, the right answer is in between. The real problem right now is that kids go to college without a plan. You need to know or at least have an idea of what you really want to do for a living. And then you need to figure out if you need to go to college to get the knowledge necessary to do that job. And then you come up with a strategy. Can you get an internship? Can you get something somewhere where you start at one level and they'll pay for your tuition?
Yeah.
Before you start dumping money out and then you end up working at Starbucks, paying student loans and being broke. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are ending up right now.
I mean, I think it's the practicality of it. I mean, and what I mean by practicality is with college, you got to take how relevant is the classes that you're taking to what you want to do. So, and I asked that question because if you're doing or studying psychology we'll use psychology. If you're studying psychology to become a therapist, how practical is it that college algebra? Like how does that fit into the curriculum of becoming a counselor? Instead of focusing on becoming a better counselor or counseling things, I have to pay money for a class that you say goes within my course, belongs in my course or whatever else
The
like that.
curriculum.
Curriculum. There it is. Again, I think for certain things, yes, college is necessary. To piggyback off of what you said, a person who does fashion or goes to school for fashion I'm not going to say will have a harder time in fashion if they don't have the talent for fashion, if that makes sense. A person who goes to school for music will have a harder time in music if they don't already have the knowledge or passion for music. I mean, even what we're doing, doing the whole podcasting thing, this is digital creation, editing, we got to promote ourselves. So promoting, marketing, and all that other stuff, all within what we're doing,
Mm-hmm.
even for some of us, podcasting is journalism. So it will be more prone for us to go to college, if we were to seek a college degree, to pursue something that you're passionate in. That's one of the things I tell my kids now. If you pursue a passion, it won't feel like a job later on down the road. Like for me, I am looking to further my education and go to college. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to go to college for journalism or digital creation or something digital, because I want to grow my podcast. I want to promote my podcast. I want to take it to the next level. I understand college has the necessary tools I can use to do that, but college is not the only avenue. I mean, we got YouTube Academy. There's a bunch of, you're looking at a YouTube alumni right here. I mean, I fixed a lot of things with YouTube. I even started the podcast Googling YouTube and Googling. So there's a lot of things that we can do outside of college without paying for it to just get the base down. But to actually have that experience that they say we need, yeah, college is the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the big thing is just knowing what it takes to get where you want to go. And that's really it, because sometimes college is the answer, and then sometimes you can do it without college. And if you can do it without, then you probably should. So you're not spending all that money, or if you want to do community college or something like that, we can see that. But like for what we're doing, I mean, there's probably courses or whatnot. I mean, this is podcasting, streaming, this is a talent-based thing. I mean, we can go and learn more about editing and doing the finer things as far as tuning our streams and podcasts. But at the end of the day, if you're just doing content that nobody wants to listen to, it's not going to matter. You just wasted your money. And that's not something that can be taught in the school.
Nah, it can't be taught in the school, but it can introduce you to it. Now, one of the things, like I got a kid getting ready to go to college, and I tell her all the time, one, daddy's gonna miss you. Daddy doesn't want you to go. Two, enjoy your time, make connections. That's one of the biggest things I tell her. Make connections, because you never know when you're going to have to go back on those connections and utilize them. So college is a good connection base, whether it be you're connecting with a professor or you're connecting with fellow students who can help you get to that. The thing about this, I'm a firm believer. Hard work will always surpass natural talent. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't work at it to better it, hard work will outdo you anytime. That's my personal belief. So even with this podcasting, again, I feel I'm not great at it. I mean, I'm not where I want to be, and I've been doing this a year, but I'm constantly trying to better myself. And that's not something school can teach you. School can't make you want better. You got to go in there with the mindset and the drive. Hey, I'm going to do this. Be it you're going to school or you're doing it by yourself. There has to be the drive there.
Yeah, and that's something that you're not going to get in a courts. There's certain things that you just have to already have, and I think that's the main thing. Because I've said this before to my friends and people I've had conversations with in the past, is like, no amount of books are going to get you in the NBA.
Right.
There are just certain things where either you have it or you don't. And that's just the way I see it. But at the same time, I don't believe in discouraging people from going to college and getting educated, especially if it's going to help you. If you're in a field that this is going to definitely make you better, it's going to make you more hireable, it's going to make you more money, then absolutely go for it. Even in those cases, look for jobs where you can get in at entry level in a position, and maybe they pay your tuition so you can move up. Because the big thing is the money. I mean, that's just where we are today in this world, in this society. It's about the money. You don't want to be in student loan debt your whole life. And you really got to keep that in mind. And I feel like right now, a lot of times, and the counselors, high school
Mhm.
counselors, I feel like if you're serious about it, you got to find a personal counselor. You can't rely on the counselors at the schools because it's like one counselor for every 300 students. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not going to have,
they got quite a few.
yeah, they're not going to have the time to really focus on your future. And if you're serious about it, you got to talk to other people. And in my case, as a teenager, the world was changing a lot, and my parents couldn't keep up really. You
Mhm.
know, from when I was graduating from high school, going to college, the world was a different place from where my dad was, where you could start in the mailroom and work your way up to CE. And, you know, I probably would be on a different path if I had different guidance, but it is what it is. And right now, we're kind of in a place where you can't really rely on your parents because it's changing even faster now. Like we can tell our kids anything, and it's not going to be the same for them as it was for us. And like I said, the high school counselors, they're not going to help, not because they're not trying, they're not, you know, doing their job. It's just because there's so many kids and there's so much to do. I feel like hiring a personal counselor, someone to talk to your kids or whatnot, that's probably gonna be the way to go for a lot of these kids. Someone who's gonna be honest, tell them who they actually are, and then go from there. Because right now, you know, there's a lot of people going to college for things that for jobs that aren't even gonna exist when they graduate. And
Mhm.
then there are others who may not go to college and find out later on that you need a degree if you want to really be in this profession.
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes back to, I mean, the touch on the school counselors. Yeah, they are overloaded, especially in public schools. Public schools are very much overloaded. They're overloaded and underpaid. So to actually come up, you know, I know from what I've seen is at least the school my kids go to, they have each kid come up with their career plan, what they want to do, and they help them look into narrow down their searches to colleges. But we cannot negate or take away the responsibility of the parent to help guide and nurture that. The school can only get them this far. It's up to the parents to get them the rest of the way. One of the things I ask my kids all the time, what do you want to do? Like, what do you like doing? Like, I have a 10-year-old. He loves gaming. He loves coding. He will be on his tablet and he'll download emulators and codes and all that other stuff. And I don't tell, I have to be careful with what I speak over him. I tell him, hey, bro, you want to become a gamer? You want to become a coder? You can do that. So I'm already getting it in his mind, not trying to coerce him into what I want him to be, but hey, if you like it, let's pursue what you like. For my daughter, she wants to go into blah 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 biology or something like that. My other daughter, she wants to study law. My oldest son, he says he wants to do computer science. So it's like, you have to start the conversation early on what they can go and look into or maybe want to be. Now, again, and I'll say this for anybody watching, I'm a firm believer, and this is what I recommend. I recommend it to my kids. I'll recommend it to anybody. I personally recommend go to the military, let the military pay for it, pick the job you want to do in the military, get free schooling, get the benefits. Why pay for something when the government's saying they'll pay for it for you? Now, I understand some people may feel reluctant. I am not patriotic, or I don't want to serve in somebody else's war. I don't want to do this or that, whatever. This is a scenario I always tell people. If I have a job and I tell you, come to my job, I will pay you I will pay you while you go to a secondary training. I will pay you to travel to your job. I will pay you while you're at your job, and you get every holiday known to man off, and you only work Monday through Friday. And the benefit, here's the caveat. After you work for me for so many years, I will then give you another set of benefits where I'll pay you monthly, and depending on how bad my job messed you up, I will compensate you this much money for the rest of your life. Now, again, if you're patriotic, be patriotic. But I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking, hey, building wealth, especially for people coming out of school not knowing what to do with themselves. Why sit around and do nothing when you can go to the military, make not easy money, put in some work, get some money, and then come out with benefits on the back end. I tell my kids, you can't just think short term. You can't think of the right here, right now. And I understand for kids, they're impulsive. 18, 19, they're impulsive. They want the popcorn instantaneously. I call it the microwave popcorn generation. They want, hell, they eat ramen noodles because it's quick. I ain't got to cook it. I don't need no skills for it. But you got to think long term. Where your peers are playing checkers, you need to be playing chess. What is the end goal? Right now, you're gonna party. Right now, you want to have fun. Right now, you're living the highlight. In another 18 years, when you're 36, where are you gonna be at? You still gonna be partying? You still gonna be living the high life? You still gonna be doing all that? With not a pot to piss in? Get the hard work. Get the work done now. Work first. Play later. Get the hard work done now to where you can have fun later.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can add to that. I'm a military kid myself. I never served personally, but I definitely understand the lifestyle. And I've always said, if you don't know what you want to do, then service is a good option. I mean, it'll get you somewhere. It'll at least put you in a better position than going to a university and spending a bunch of money and not knowing what you want to do in your future.
Mm-hmm.
But man, at the end of the day, it's the plan that matters. It's
Yes.
the plan that matters. You gotta have a plan, and it sucks because at 17 and 18, you're still a kid and you're not really ready to make decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life. But it is what it is, because not only do you have this weight on your shoulders, but once you turn 18, everyone else is going to come for you too. I mean, credit card companies, this, that, and the other. You got to be ready at that point and do your best. And I feel like reach out. Don't just listen to your counselor. Don't just listen to your parents. You gotta, if you're interested in a career or in a field, find people who are in it and talk to them. That's probably the best thing you can do. Find people who are in that field and talk to them.
Make sure the juice is worth the squeeze.
Hey guys, that's it for this edition of Touch Grass. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, but don't just sit and watch internet videos all day. You need to go outside and conquer life, because you matter and you need to make every day matter. Now get off the internet and go touch grass.
Until we meet again!